Hi, this is Cam Smith, and this is the podcast of Triple R's Eat It, a weekly radio show about food and drink broadcast live on Triple R from Melbourne, Australia every Sunday. Hope you enjoy the podcast and feel free to get in touch with us via the Triple R website.
Hey, guys, why don't we eat?
Dear, don't cause a fuss. I'll have your spam. I love it. I'm having spam, spam, spam.
Cornflakes. 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 Cornflakes.
Anyone fancy a pint?
Suit you, sir.
Spam, 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 baked beans, spam, 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 and spam.
I said I don't want any damn vegetables.
Lentils are really good, you know?
Forbidden donut.
And here was I, trying to do a paradiddle, and he had no clue. And I've got a drummer next to me who's looking at me with just like going, ah, you poor man. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the afternoon here on this Sunday, an interesting Sunday nationally, a cool Sunday more locally, shall we say, and it's my delight to look across at said drummer, who is so much more than that. Did you hear that little
A very poor drummer.
A drummer?
Yeah.
Maddie, how you doing?
Hello, Cameron.
Great
it
to
is
see
an
you.
awesome day in Melbourne. I drove in with a little sunroof open. The sun is out. It's good.
Wow, you must have
Get
had
out there and enjoy
You must have had a blessed corridor of light following you, because from where I drove,
Oh, right.
it was grey.
It is tough because the sun's so low in the sky
Yeah.
this time of year. You've got to get, if you're driving through the city, you've got to get the angles right. Otherwise,
Yeah, you need your special mirror in your sunroof so that you can reflect it onto yourself.
Yes.
No, we did talk with John at the market.
Yes.
And his statement was, the sun is trying to break out. It hadn't actually... it was like a hopeful future tense, Matt, rather than enjoying the beautiful now, like your beautiful Buddhist moment with the sunroof.
Our meek little son just trying. Come on, son.
You
can do it.
If it made a sound, the winter sun last night. Shane, having a discussion with Panel Beater.
Yes.
They're doing a little post-show huddle at the moment, which is
Yes.
kind of good. Again, I love this station because you get such great views. Beautifully put and research. Shane was talking about the AZ vaccine and, of course, how it has been completely... How do we put this?
Maligned by the media? Is
Yeah,
that the right way to put it? I am.
Yeah, I like it.
If you're on the Twitters and you don't follow Dr. Shane, then I think you're a bit silly because...
How would you find him?
well, you might just do a search on the Twitters for Dr. Shane. I think it's Dr. Shane RRR. He'll probably correct me now.
That's fairly straightforward.
And you too can follow the travails of him getting, well, you've missed it now, getting his second vaccination during the week, as I did yesterday. Very excited. To
Pfizer Manelli.
Pfizer Manelli.
Wow. So did they keep a bit for you, did they?
They did. They just kept it
You
back.
might
just
be
for
the
me.
last one.
But no, big ups to... We had to check out to Sunshine Hospital, and it was super easy. There were all these nice people manning the boom gates at the car park and telling you where to go, and there was no wait times, and we were very lucky, of course, to have an appointment because that was quite a struggle a few weeks ago. But
Certainly was, and we certainly have seen supply issues that will be exacerbated in the coming months, I would say.
But if you're eligible, do make every effort to try and book yourself in for a vaccine. Even if you have to wait for it, it's worth the effort. It's the only way out of this, isn't it? It's the only way we're going to go back to full bars,
Any
full
normality.
restaurants.
Normality in our lives, or a life without fear.
And you look at our northern cousins up there in Sydney, and hello to anyone listening from Sydney. It sucks the situation you find yourself in.
We feel for you.
All of the same issues that the hospo industry has sort of been through in Melbourne now, obviously it's Sydney, where people are losing shifts and may not be able to pay rent, and it's just a really horrible situation.
Yes, and yeah, I was going to say that thank God that our great leader has come out and said, "Don't you worry, we'll look after you with the money." Maybe he didn't quite do that down here, but maybe there's different things that have to be seen too.
Hey, what's on the show today, Cam?
Different motivation, shall we say,
I'm
Maddie.
just going to drag the soapbox away from you.
I just thought I'd just quickly I'm just going to go on tippy toes a little bit here. It's funny that you say the ramifications for the hospitality industry, because we will be touching base very, very shortly with Danny Vallant.
Yes.
And we will be talking about the lockdown, the issues in hospo, the fact that chefs have been added in the priority immigration list.
Yes.
And about staffing, we might mention there was an article that was out in Good Food about a buddy of the show, Joseph Aboud.
Yes.
And the trials and travails that he's had to deal with since he used to have 3 places.
Yeah.
There's only one now with Rumi.
Celebrating 15 years, we should say. But yeah, all across the industry. I remember we had, I'm sure he wouldn't mind saying, Carlo Grossi in a few weeks ago. And he said, that family are working 100-hour weeks because they just can't find people. It's so hard across the industry. So
so the Sunday lunches that the family have, and one of the reasons why we never really hear from the Crossies is...
Do you want to come in on Sunday?
No, we're doing lunch. What are you, crazy or something like
that?
Sorry. But there's ramifications. So Danny Vallant, we have a great chat, or I had a great chat with John, where we just sort of went on tangents of really more talking about food and cooking of meat.
You went poking through his shopping bag. You said, "What's this?"
It was more what's that in your mouth from yesterday?
Oh, right.
Sort of thing that we were looking at a takeaway container of what he had got leftover wise, and we were sort of poking around that, going, "Oh, that looks pretty good." So yeah, looking forward to that, and we're going to have a chat to Chris Moore of Sailor's Grave Beer, who is doing an interesting event down in East Gippsland. And I thought it might be an interesting thing to touch base with him, being a ambassador of the area.
Yes.
Of course, he's in Orbost with Sailor's Grave Beer, but he's doing a very, very interesting gig today on some island with Briggsy from Sardine Restaurant, which is probably... East Gippsland's one of the top places. One of the top places, certainly in Meetung anyway. So we might just finish off the show with a little bit of that. I found an interesting quote. We haven't done a quote for a while.
Let's do one now then.
Thank you, Matt. This is a very, very pithy old thing from Rudyard Kipling. So you can imagine how this was going to go. And it starts, this is such an old empire thing, which those days are certainly gone when they said the sun will never set on the English Empire.
Yes.
Well, it has. We haven't had any tea for a week. The bottom is out of the universe. So that shows, yes, how they thought about tea. And also just something to ponder. In America...
Yes.
A day designated by the Coconut Coalition of the Americas.
The CCA.
Yeah, CCA. Proud member.
Yes.
Card-carrying member. Show us your coconuts. You'll be happy to know that it's National Coconut Day.
Oh, good.
So bang those things together.
That's a big day for the CCA. They sort of spend
it's been...
all year building up to this day. And so good luck to them all.
It's a red letter day for the CCA. You're listening to 3RRR FM. It's 10 past. We're going to find Danny and get her on the line.
Yes.
And have a chat. We'll see you soon.
This is a podcast from RRR, an independent media organisation in Melbourne, Australia. To find out more about Triple R or to explore many more shows, podcasts, articles, videos and interviews, head to the Triple R website at rrr.org.au.
Danny Villand, thank you for joining us on Sunday here on an interesting day midwinter.
Yeah, Cam, thanks for having me. We're having lots of interesting days, aren't we?
Yeah, God, that Chinese curse, eh? Interesting times.
Exactly.
We've been a part of it for too long. I just want a little bit of... Oh, it'd be great when we all get vaccinated and we can just get out of this pile of merde that we are in.
Yep, I hope so. It's there's new news coming through all the time. It's just been announced that Darwin and other parts of the Northern Territory are going into lockdown from...
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's new. So is that just hit?
Breaking news. You know this is a breaking news show.
It certainly is. Wow. How long, Danny?
48 hours.
48 hours.
A circuit breaker, hopefully.
And just see what the hell's going on. Right.
Yeah, but it's just, I really feel for Sydney in a 2-week lockdown. It's, we know all about it here, don't we? Just,
yes.
It's just a devastating scramble for restaurants and bars and cafes and,
events people. Like, if you had an event on, over.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's really tough, and I was chatting to someone who runs big events in Sydney late last week, and he was saying things are going. They just had the most bookings that they've had. He felt that they were still running at about 30% of what they were pre-COVID, but he felt that things were really on the up. The confidence was back, and people were ready to book and to spend. Yeah, look, we know that, and so it is really devastating. I think that, I'm obviously really upset for people who are going through it, but I think the other thing that I'm really a bit despondent about is that if we can't get through it with testing and tracing, then are we just all going to be subject to more lockdowns? I don't even want to say that out loud.
No.
So we just can't. Just don't even... No, let's just say it's not going to happen, and, they'll smash it. And it'll all be okay?
Exactly. It'll be okay. You sound like Gladys Berejiklian with her upward inflections in her voice that she sometimes does. And what that poor woman, I mean, she's had to endure that. And, I don't know. Yeah, look, my thoughts go to everybody to the north. Maybe initially there was, if I'm going to be brutally honest, a touch of Schadenfreude, but that's washed over me now. Matt's smiling at me. But it's just such an awful predicament, isn't it? Yeah,
I just think, I know what you're saying. It's like there's certainly been some shade cast in the Victorian direction, but you don't wish it on anyone, and I just really hope they smash it because, as it was for us when we went in, our lockdowns, you're doing it not just for yourselves, you're doing it for the whole country, and so obviously definitely wish Sydney all the best in crushing it because, as we know, borders are pretty porous, and lots of cases in one part of Australia, it's no good for any of us.
And unfortunately, community is made up of so many different types of people, and there was an interesting story about some people that had evaded the lockdown by flying in their private jet to Cooper Pedy, of all places, and they got detected in a karaoke bar and were arrested. Which I think was a good thing.
I don't even know where to start with that story.
It's just people.
Never having had a private jet at my disposal, I'm not really sure if that's how I would have used it.
Think of going to Cooper Pedy. I don't know if it'd be my first destination. But anyway, back to food. One thing that you did say was an interesting outcome of the lack of staff in the industry is that the chefs have been added in priority immigration listings.
Yeah, so that was just announced during the week, and it is really good news for hospitality right around Australia. So chefs have been added to the Priority Migration Skilled Occupation list. So that means that chefs have been designated, an occupation of need, and that those positions can't be filled with people who are already in Australia. And anybody in hospitality would say, yeah, we knew this. It was one of the chefs were already in short supply pre-pandemic, but certainly it was one of the very foreseeable outcomes of not looking after visa holders during the pandemic, that there weren't going to be enough people to fill those positions on the other side. So chefs have been added, like lobby groups have also been agitating that restaurant managers and sommeliers are also added to those lists. I think anybody who's eating in restaurants at the moment would notice that the staff, people are understaffed and staff aren't experienced in a lot of restaurants as they have been. So I think to have the hospitality playgrounds that we love to have in Australia and certainly in Melbourne, we do need more experienced staff. It's a big conversation, because when you start to talk to people about these things, they'll talk about, they should just pay them more. That's a really common refrain.
Yes.
It's not that simple. There simply aren't the experienced staff out there, and you can't solve that problem with a click of the fingers.
Not even devil's advocate. It's more of a just to broaden the conversation. So we've changed the immigration status to get more people on this priority immigration list. Yeah, that's great. What about from training from within the TAFEs, the William Anglis's, and getting our own population trained and in the restaurants?
Yeah, look, it's a great thing to bring up, Cam, and it's definitely part of the story. I think there are so many ways that I can answer your question. So let's just take one. Okay. One is that high schools are ranked on their ATARs, so on their university entrance scores, and that's what gives schools prestige. So a lot of schools tend to funnel kids into university courses rather than trades, because that's...
Because they want to look good. It makes us look bad if we're sending all these kids to tech school or to a TAFE.
So one thing that could be, a lot of it is one thing that threads through the whole conversation, from decisions that are made by kids in high school right through to customers that are sitting down and ordering food in restaurants, is the prestige that is placed upon the hospitality industry. So until kids and parents think that hospitality is a worthy career, a worthy career with great opportunities and a good lifestyle attached to it, until there's that side of it, and until people sitting in restaurants value the true cost of putting food on plates in front of them, then we are going to be struggling.
Yeah, right. Okay. And an interesting case in point that you sent me this has got your byline on it. So an article that you wrote in Good Food, so it's available at the Age website. And you were talking to one of my favourite people in this industry, the very, very lovely Joseph Aboud, regarding rooming. Yeah. 15 years old, and yikes.
I know, 15 years is a really fantastic milestone for any restaurant to achieve. And, so I chatted to Joseph on my podcast and was really happy to write this article for Good Food about Rumi achieving that milestone. But just the situation that he's in at the moment, having sold one restaurant, Moorshead in Thornbury, earlier this year, having closed the restaurant in the city, Bar Saracen, because it just was making it hard for it to stack up
while
financially.
He was still having to pay rent on it too, Danny. That was the thing that was a double ouch on that one.
Yeah, it's super tough situation.
Yep.
And then he sort of consolidated at his flagship restaurant, Rumi in Brunswick. But because there's no staff around, he's got his dad pulling the whiskers off the prawns. He's got his wife is in there doing
Natalie's
prep
in there,
and his eldest son, Malachi, is working the deep fryer and doing some dishes and learning how to say yes, chef, to his dad, apparently with great sarcasm at times. But so, I mean, it's something so lovely about that, but I think it also does speak to the situation that a lot of businesses find themselves in. And one of the impacts of having no staff and also having, a more compliant industry than we've had in the past, where people are only working, for hours that they're paid for, is that owners are working like absolute killer hours in businesses because they just have to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a beautiful story, and it's, they're a lovely family. It's a great restaurant. It's a real part of the heart and soul of Brunswick East.
How do we find that story, Danny?
I don't know, just like Google Roomy Danny Valent, maybe? I don't know. Look on the Good Food website.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll put it on my Instagram as well.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's Danny Valent.
I'll get around to that.
I'm getting the wind up from Matt, so please don't think that I'm bringing this to a close, because I don't adore speaking to you and hearing your voice and what you have to say. Danny, thank you so much for having a chat. What's on for the rest of your day? Going out anywhere to eat?
Well, we're allowed to have 15 people to our house, so we're having an afternoon tea at my parents' house with the extended fam, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Wow. Have you baked any cakes or anything like that for it?
No, but I reckon I will. I'm going to do a pear and buckwheat cake.
What? Pear and buckwheat?
Yeah, it's super delish.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I love buckwheat. Being half Russian, my mama used to cook the kasha,
Yes.
Pear and buckwheat, that sounds great. Okay, I might have to have a look for a recipe of that. Danny, big hug. Always good to chat. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Have a great rest of the show. See ya.
Boom! Back at you. The Danny Valent. There it is. So, yes, have a look at that. Good food. The name of the article is Brunswick East's Roomy Restaurant. So put Roomy in there. Should be good.
Melbourne's own Triple R.
Oh, what'd you get? Oh, you got... Oh, that looks good. Beans.
Bologna beans.
Yeah.
Smoked pork trotters.
Artichoke.
And carciofini.
Carciofini.
I added all of my own last night.
Yeah.
As we were saying before, the peasants are revolting. They don't understand delicate food.
And your delicate sensibilities too, John.
That's right.
And by way of introduction, a very, very good afternoon to you, John. It's good to see you.
It is a beautiful day again. Sunday.
Yeah, you got your jacket. You got your vest on.
Yes, I got a beautiful vest to keep my back warm. As long as we're warm, we can do anything.
That's a good vest. Like you could go through the Antarctic in that vest.
Yes.
Well, you could go through some cold. Here we are. It's the market.
Sun's trying to break through.
It is trying. It is trying. You were just telling me about how you had some salted ham hocks the other day, and you made all these different meals from it.
Yes. One of the butcher boys, Italian descent, said to me, I got all these ham hocks.
Yeah.
Do you want some? And I said, yeah. Only if you brine them for me.
This is Steve.
Steve up here.
He's the one who used to make those amazing pork and fennel sausages.
And they make beautiful cotechini too.
Yeah.
Yes. He said, oh, that's a thought. So he was a good boy. He went away and he salted them. Now, normally we bake them and they come up like a baked ham.
Why should you why should you brine the ham hock?
Just for something different.
Okay, you know? also there is a view that if you brine something, because of the osmotic pressure, it makes them more juicy.
It does, and it brings out a flavour, the richness of the pork as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I really think it does accentuate the porky taste, and I love it like that. Franca does.
Sorry, vegetarians.
Yeah, but
just a little disclaimer, you know.
We all have our problems.
We'll start talking about vegetables soon.
We did actually. We boiled the ham hocks with 6 million vegetables, and it came up really thicky, soupy thing.
How long? Because you've got to braise it, don't you? It'd have to be more than 3 hours so that we have the gelatin, the collagen going to gelatin.
Well, actually, you can even see that here with these pork trotters, everything's congealed, and that's what happens. Apart from the fat on the top, the bottom's congealed as well. So that's when it's the best. So we put all these veggies in, and my neighbour's wife or her brother, I'm not quite sure, they're both proficient at making dumplings. I had some in the freezer because we couldn't eat them when they were given to me. So we put them into the soup, and it was a beautiful dumpling soup. And because we're cannibals and don't know when to stop eating, we ate all the dumplings and then put the juice left in to the fridge. And 2 days later we cooked little angel hair pasta and put that through the soup.
Yeah, so this is the really, really small noodle that we don't use a lot, or usually I think of it with like crab meat or something like that. You know?
Or it's like the noodles they put in Singapore noodles, if a lot of people can associate with that better.
I can, you just made me really hungry. That sounds good. And I don't know why.
That's our job.
And now I've just gone one stage further and I'm thinking of like angel hair with a mud crab in it, and the 2 claws as a garnish.
I'm going to shoot you.
Oh, my God.
Because I can't get a crab now, and I want it now.
How good does that sound?
Because we do love mud crab as well, and we do so many things with that.
I was saying to this French guy the other day, who I'm going to get on the show, the mud crab is the finest protein that we have in this country.
Yes, and it's beautiful. And the best one I had was when we were playing Gypsy up North Queensland. And
hey, what did you say? You were playing Gypsy?
Yeah, we were roaming around.
Roaming.
Yeah, we've been like a Romany. Hopped in a car in the olden days when we were young and stupid. Hop in a car and go and explore, because we've explored all of Victoria, a fair bit of New South Wales, and a little bit of Queensland. So we stop and we see this caravan, and it says seafood. So what's John do? Walk over, and I see this mud crab still moving around. And he said, we just fished it out of the creek out the back here. So we bought the mud crab and went and found the caravan park, and it came out the big stick and pot, and you know what happened then. So I say no more.
Bye-bye mud crab, 20 minutes.
With pasta.
No more.
And we did it with pasta.
And you did it with pasta, good boys.
So,
but what noodle did you use for that?
Well, we only had penne, so penne was good enough when you're hungry, mate. You can even eat a horse, as they say.
Oh, mud crab. Anyway, so let's bring it back to this little ham hock that started this whole conversation. So back to the ham hock, and you had it with the spaghettini.
Yeah, we had it with the spaghettini, and that was to die for as well. Probably a little bit too rich. We should have watered the soup down a little bit more, but it was lovely. You know, it was cold. No, I didn't put much. Just a little bit of parsley. I didn't put any cheese. My kids did. They put cheese on everything, mate.
What are they, animals?
Pagans.
My God. And this isn't an Italian household that you allowed this to happen?
Yeah, but they love their pecorino. They'll eat it in any shape and form. And actually, last night we had it in 3 forms. We had a very, very fresh, soft pecorino. And we had the chili pecorino dry. And they had the grated stuff on their soup.
Yeah,
so, you know.
No pepato, though.
No pepato.
Mum used to love that.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Then my grandfather used to have it with crackers and wine.
Yeah, my mum did too. Hey, maybe they got together. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows about that?
Yeah, so normally with the salted ham hock, we normally bake it. We lay it on its side first so the bottom bit cooks, and then we stand it up so the knuckles pointing upwards, and the skin goes a beautiful, crusty, crackly.
And there was an observation that you made to me that, and we might just pass this off to the listeners, the carnivore listeners, obviously. Sorry, again, we're going to talk about vegetables soon. But if you freeze the ham hock, the crackle is actually better.
Yes.
That was an observation you made.
It dries out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if you find that it is very, very soft, and because it's just been pickled, what we do is we can put a little bit of sauce and more salt on the outside, and then olive oil, and then shove it in the oven. And then you give it that initial burst, and then you turn the gas down a little bit, and then let it cook.
Well, I've still got that one that's frozen. I still haven't eaten. I've got to get around to it.
Get it out tonight and do it tomorrow.
All right.
And the beauty of it is, because it's salted, you don't have to overcook it. When your crackling's done, even if it's still pink in the middle, which it will be because of the salt, don't think that it's raw.
And I think I'm going to go Germany and do some braised cabbage sort of stuff.
The best pork I had was in Handorf in South Australia, mate.
Oh, well,
that was salted.
Near Kaiserstuhl.
Yeah.
Well, the Germans are.
Yeah.
Or came originally.
They're still there.
Well, they're still there, yeah, but they're skippies now.
Yeah.
German skippies.
Oh, yeah, you want to say that to them?
No. Hey, let's talk about some fruit and veg over here. I've noticed that one of the most overrated fruit in the world is across there.
Dragon fruit?
Yeah.
It is because...
I had to go on a negative, but I look at those things and it's like a lot of those tropical fruits is that they're...
It's not a fruit.
Okay.
It's a cactus.
Okay, yeah. True that. Would I argue with you, John?
I had to give it to you, sorry.
No. But most of the time they're watery, there's not much flavour to them. But they look a bit alarming.
But look at the colours. That's a golden one.
Yeah.
And there's one really bright yellow one, which I've never seen. I've only seen photos of it.
Yeah, and then
but there's pink ones and there's red ones and I think a whitish one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going on a negative, but $9 a kilo, that's a bit much.
But.
Yeah, but wait.
I've seen recipes, put them in fruit salad and...
that's not a recipe. That's
you
just
know what
assembly.
The Asians really use them for? To clean the gut out.
And also exfoliate the skin.
Yeah.
You can exfoliate your skin with them.
Yeah, so it does have a purpose.
All right, yeah, okay.
So,
it's valid.
Ugly as they are, where, as we say, the ugly things always try harder. They have a station in life too.
It's like us.
Yeah.
Okay, but can I just point out, from something that is really, really good for the guts and good for your skin to something that is just a great thing to have around, and that's pomegranate.
Yeah, strange.
As we slowly get to realise, us skippies get to realise this.
I like to suck the juice, but I spit the seed. The seed reminds me of wheat.
Yes.
And I don't like the flavour when I chew them.
Yep.
My mum will crack a big one and eat it. She'll sit there like she's having lollies, with even at her age now. No, mate, just crack it open go for it, mate.
Nose in.
And,
Nose in Nancy,
definitely.
They call it.
And she loves it.
I hope she's not
there are... No.
She won't be.
She'll be having her morning tea now.
Yeah, good.
Or afternoon tea by the time this goes on.
Yeah.
So, people do a lot of things with them. There are a lot of Middle Eastern dishes that call for them, even just for decoration on top.
Yeah.
I've had pomegranate ice cream, which I didn't mind.
Well, it's sweet and it's a little bit sour. It's like an acid and sugar lift, and visually they are like rubies.
They are.
They're beautiful.
And they're not as hard to open up. A lot of chefs cut them in the middle and bang the bejuvas out with a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
But it's easy if you just cut the top off where the core is, like you'd be cutting off the end of an orange, and then you can see where the veins are, and you run the knife down the vein, and it just comes open and they just pop out. It's very, very easy to do.
Okay, did you hear that, folks? There you go. There's some valuable advice from Mr. John.
You can even buy the juice of the pomegranates as well.
Yeah. Well, there's those weird rounded bottles. I forget the name of the company, but they're all over the world and they've made a lot of money. Now, what was I going to mention? Oh, you've got some carciofi, speaking of...
Yeah, and we got baby carciofi and...
artichokes for
I sold some to some young Australian girls. They said, we've always admired them in the jars and bought a few to eat, but we've never tried them. So they bought a handful one day and experimented.
What'd they do?
They just cleaned them back and boiled them and put them in the oil.
Boom.
And then they came back the next week and she said, we'll take the box. I said, gee, that's good.
You really drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you?
Yeah, and I sold them a can of Australian olive oil, extra virgin olive oil from Western Australia. And they showed me the photo of a big jar. I think it's probably, 2 or 3 liters.
Oh, no way, really?
Big jar, and the photo, it looks so beautiful. And she says, we're having a feast every day. Thank you very much. And that's what makes my job.
You just made my day too. I mean, artichokes, by far my favourite vegetable.
And we've got big ones as well. The big ones are coming on. I only got one box of purpley ones that's a hybrid.
There's 3 left.
Yes. This one's a purpley one. Got a little bit of a point, but no spike like the Spinoza.
Yeah.
It's a very nutty artichoke.
Ooh.
You can steam it up and have it on its own with very, very little on top. just parsley, garlic, and a drop of olive oil, maybe.
Or if you want to do, you could do the Frenchy thing. If you want to, artichokes for beginners, artichokes with the L plate on it, just boil them for 20 minutes in acidulated water. That's the most important thing, because some of us don't like them to go black. Just leave that hang. And then you just put in a bowl with a vinaigrette.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, I'll tell you what Cameron's just done. He's got his back on me because I always say, chuck the artichokes, chuck the potatoes, chuck the broad beans in. Everything goes a beautiful brown colour.
Yeah, grey
and it's very, very good. And grey is beautiful. So, as you said, not everyone likes it grey. So the lemon, the acid of the lemon will keep it more of a natural colour.
Yeah, it stops it oxidising.
If you do the baby ones and you put a lot of lemon in, they actually get bleached and they go white. Which some people like. I don't. I like a little bit of colour on it.
Yeah. And actually, I'll say, when I do my great dish that you taught me all those years ago now, which is just pretty much a broth of artichokes and broad beans and salad onion, I let it go grey, and I'm fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for you. It's good for the soul as well to have something different, because sometimes we get excited and make pretty dishes with colours.
Overstimulated colour.
That's right. So sometimes we go back to basics, peasant food, and it's good for you.
Yeah.
Good for the soul again.
Yeah, damn right. Have we had any frosts yet to make cabbages and Brussels sprouts sweet?
Some places copped a frost. Our tomatoes... yeah, we're talking too much.
Yeah, we are.
Our tomatoes are still coming from outside in... they were Doncaster, now it's Coldstream. They've had 2 frosts out there.
Yes.
Got to -2 a couple of mornings. So I'd say the other areas have got frost. The cabbages that we've got on the stand today are really, really lovely. You can see they look like a baby. They're nice and pristine, shiny, soft, sweet. You can eat them raw, you can cook them, you can make a corned beef and cabbage with them, or corned cabbage, corned pork, salted pork and cabbage, if you want.
Yeah, it sounds good.
But even coleslaw, it's a beautiful cabbage to do that. And there are a lot of beautiful carrots to go with it, carrots, celery, onion, even chuck in an apple if you feel like it, in a shredded apple.
Great idea, because that helps with the guts with the pork. Yeah. Look, I'm going to have to go back to the studio because I've taken way too much time. John, good to chat with you.
It is lovely.
Come to the market. I'm seeing eggplants across there for $2 and capsicums for $4. It's all here. It's looking amazing, and you can see smiling John and Sammy here too.
Yeah, we're all here ready and waiting to have a good day. And there's a bit of a festival out there as well. There's
something
South American stuff.
Oh, good. Okay.
I've forgotten it's left me. But anyway, it'll be jumping. People will come out in the afternoon. Come out, have a walk around, have a bit of fun. Life's grand.
Good to see you. I'll catch up with you in a few weeks.
No
Thanks,
worries.
John.
All the best.
Triple R.
Salut! My name is Alex from the YouTube channel Alex French Guy Cooking, and you're listening to Eat It on 3RRR.
Yes, indeed you are, and that was recorded right in here on Monday. I had a chat to Alex, Mr. French Guy Cooking. You see on YouTube.
Mr. French Guy Cooking.
He's very good. He's very good, you know.
You were about to slip into the accent.
I know. I can't help it. It's like, it's a second nature thing. But that will be coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we use this piece of technology called the phone, and we use it to travel around. And we're going to the Far East of this state, I should say, near the border, which I think has been closed down, but very, very happy to touch base with Chris Moore from Sailor's Grave Brewing, usually in beautiful downtown Orbost. But where have we found you at the moment, Chris?
Hi, Cam.
Hey, buddy.
I just got off a boat across the Paynesville Lakes. I'm at Ocean Grange, which is sort of the original homestead on this sort of dune. On one side there's the lakes, and the other side is the ocean. It's pretty stunning. I've never been here before.
Oh, wow, really? That's really part of the backyard. Isn't it funny that it takes an event to get you to explore more of your area? Because you live sort of around the, in Cape Conran, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, in between Marlow and Cape Conran on that sort of wild, windswept coastal stretch there.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of wild around there. And so at the moment you are in Paynesville, which is sort of the... what do we call it? Sort of like the leafy eastern suburbs of East Gippsland, shall we say?
Yeah, and especially over here, there's you can only get here by boat, and there's a lot of there's this amazing homestead, but there's also a lot of kind of family shacks, right on the beach or just behind the beach. So it's. And
is this? Yeah. You've just sent me a picture of this. This homestead has got a tower built on it.
Yes, a giant turret.
Far out. So yeah, it's sort of Victorian, sort of colonial style with the veranda that goes all the way around. It must have been sort of early 1800s to be built like that.
It was 1889.
89. Okay, I'm wrong. Yeah.
It's still a long time ago.
That's looking at me going, yeah, good on you, mate. So you're doing that,
it's amazing.
And you're there for a lunch, and you are very, very lucky to be having some of the food of Mr. Mark Briggs, Esquire, of Sardine, which is
that's right.
Probably one of the restaurants in that area, yeah?
It is, yeah. It's part of the East Gippsland Winter Festival, which has been going for a week or so now, and it's a lunch with Sardine doing all the cooking, us with some beer, and Lightfoot and Sons with some wine, and yeah, really just kind of showcasing Ocean Grange as a venue, really.
It sounds like an amazing thing, and it's pretty exclusive. The event that you were at, we can only sort of look with longing and think if only we were there vicariously. Am I correct in saying 16 people?
Today it's kind of media events, but I think they're doing an event every day this week with 16 people each night or afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, but they do large groups here as well, which is a pretty amazing location.
Wow. Wow, it sounds good. And what sort of stuff's on the menu? Do you know?
I don't know yet. I literally just got off the boat.
Yeah, mate.
And about to walk up onto the veranda and find out.
What have you done?
It'll be amazing if Mark's cooking.
Well, can you please pass on my regards to him, and also apologies. I was hoping to be closing the festival with him and at an event, but I can't make it, which I'm very, very disappointed about. But so have you gotten
I'll
off?
Definitely pass it on.
Please do. So I imagine you've gotten off the boat with Gab. With a couple kegs under your arms and getting ready to set up, or what's happening?
No, we're sitting down. Luckily, there are some.
Oh, you're just civilians
sometimes. Yep, we're just sort of sitting, provide some booze, enjoy the food.
Oh, good gig.
Great conversation.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. And I'm curious, what beer did you bring for this gig?
We've got one of our permanent beers, which is our Down She Gozer. It's a very clean, easy drinking beer brewed with local seaweed.
Great.
Yes. And we've got a honey bush braggot that we did with Uncle Noel Butler from South Coast, New South Wales. A really amber-coloured, honeyed, malty beer. Delicious.
What's it called again?
Honey bush braggot.
Braggot.
A braggot. So a braggot is a
is
mix of beer and honey brewed together.
Oh, so it's not someone who just says, check out my house and do you like my Porsche?
Yeah.
No, so a braggot is actually a valid style of beer.
Yes.
Wow,
yeah,
so
it is.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. So we've got those two on today, and I think they'll be showcasing a few others during the week as well.
And are you
glad they've got the braggot on, actually. That's a really great collaboration, ongoing collaboration that we're doing with Uncle Noel and Trish. They're from near Ulladulla.
Yes.
Yeah, they were burnt out completely in the fires a summer ago.
Oh.
But he's an amazing Indigenous elder, Yuin elder, with an encyclopedic knowledge of native botanicals. So it's really great to kind of work on. We're doing this project, I guess, celebrating seasonality through a Indigenous lens, which is more about landscape cues than it is about, months of the year. So, and those landscape cues linked to ingredients. So it's a fun project.
And here we go, Chris, again, we're always learning, aren't we? I'm wondering, is the the honey that you use for that sugar bag, or are you using a European-style honey?
It's a honey which is 100% Banksia flower honey, so which links back to a story that Uncle Noel used to tell about a drink that was sort of a very fast fermented drink made from Banksia nectar.
Yes.
And we've also got a kind of fancier version of this beer in a barrel which uses yeast from bees, harvested from bees, and yeast harvested from Banksia flower to ferment the beer. So just to make it a more complete story.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sounds like a really, really interesting beer. My God. You're holding that back for the latter end of the dinner, or lunch? I'm thinking it's more for dessert.
Yes, they are. They're serving it with dessert, that beer. So, yep. So I'm excited.
It does sound exciting. So this is a collaboration that you've been doing for how long now?
This was the first beer of the collaboration, but we've since done 2 other beers. We've got a porter that we're just about to release, which uses native cherry wood, which we burnt and smoked some in a very ad hoc, amateurish way, smoked some malts with the cherry wood, which was going into that porter.
And how successful was that? This amateur way?
Tasting good so
tasting
far.
All right?
There's a fine line between lovely kind of cherry wood smoke flavour and a ashy campfire. I think we just
and a
got
bushfire. Yeah, okay. That sounds kind of good. Oh, I'll tell you what, gee, I'm kind of hankering for a bit of a porter. Thanks, Matt. This is a perfect. Well, yeah, June, July. This is the month to do it. And I remember Scotty from Wolf of the Willows, who actually I saw his car at the Vic Market this morning. I think he might have been out all night because he had a parking ticket on his car. But I don't want to, say things out of church on that. But he was telling me. Oh, Scotty's awesome. But he was telling me the story about how porter came along. It was a drink. to keep the actual porters, what's the word I'm looking for? To keep them to going strong, shall we? Fortified is the word.
Fortified.
Thank you. It was a thing to fortify the carriers of luggage. This beer was named for that, and it had which I thought was kind of interesting.
It reminds me of my mum when she had my older sister in England. They were still giving new mothers a glass of stout to fortify them after their labours.
Well, give you a bit of
the days.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. It's because we used to believe the thing Guinness is good for you.
Yes.
When I used to have a restaurant in West Melbourne, I thought I'd have a go of that, and after lunch service, I used to have a Guinness, and then wonder why I'd be so sleepy for dinner service. Anyway, we didn't.
Sleepy but stronger, Cam.
Oh well, maybe my iron levels had come up. Chris, great to hear from you. I look forward to finding some of that porter. Blackheart and Sparrows, would that be one of the easiest places to find your beer?
Yep, definitely. Blackhearts and Sparrows is a great one.
Yeah.
Probably at Audacious Monk as well.
Audacious Monk. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great bottle shop and bar
Audacious
up around near Reservoir, sort of bordering on Reservoir up there.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good selection up there.
Oh, I might have to return there. We've been all talking about vaccinations and things. That's where I got my AZ at Reservoir. Reservoir, mate. Big g'day to Gab. Have a great lunch. Do say hi to Mark for me. Tell him again I'm sorry that I can't come up for the closing festival, but I look forward to seeing all the good people of Gippsland very, very soon.
Thanks, Cam. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, see you, buddy. Chris Moore. There he is.
Fresh off the boat.
Yeah, lucky guy. That sounds amazing. So, yes, Painesville. Yes, lovely little neck of the woods around there.
Yes.
Good place to park your Range Rover.
No.
What do we got? Yes, next week we're hoping that we're going to have a chat to Sally Capp, our Lord Mayor.
Oh, cool.
To talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That's sort of going to be the vibe, I suppose.
Yep.
Alex, the French cooking guy, will be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
At the moment, though, Vanessa Morris is waiting to do Still Here.
Yes.
Yeah, she's all ready. Oh, she's peeking around the monitor going, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to hit that button and go.
JVG, Radio Method after that. And just a good way to spend a chilly Sunday afternoon is Warm Inside on Triple R.
Yeah, Warm Inside is a good way to go. I should also, a couple people, happy birthday to Madam Brussels.
To Miss Pearls.
Miss Pearls,
yes.
Happy birthday to you. And John has his birthday tomorrow too from the market. So we should probably acknowledge that. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Let's have a little bit of outro music before we go to Still Here. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Cam.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Cam Smith, and you've been listening to the podcast of Triple R's Eat It, a weekly radio show about food and drink, broadcast live on Triple R from Melbourne, Australia, every Sunday. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and feel free to get in touch with us via the Triple R website.